Well, hello. Thanks for patiently waiting for us. How's everybody tonight?
Well, if by everybody you mean me, well, I've been better, but I'm here. I'm alive for now. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I got my wife right across from me.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
wife.
Oh, Kassidy says hello.
Oh, you got your headphones on, so.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
She's trying to listen on her phone while at the same time
Okay.
keeping up with the comments and everything.
Oh, okay.
But
All
but
right.
we're here and ready to go.
All right.
So
Can you
how
guys
much
hear us
can
okay?
Blake bots go? And by the Blake bots, who are we talking about again?
Okay, the Blake bots. So the story about the Blake bots. So I was calling them Blake Stans. It's the people who support Blake absolutely no matter what she does. No matter how
Yeah.
low she goes, who she attacks, what she attacks, they find a way to excuse it.
You want to
So I
know what's
called them
weird? I'll tell
what?
you what. I haven't run into any. I have
No?
not. I have
They don't
not.
come to your channel and pick on you?
For what? What are they going to get off out of that? I mean,
Yeah.
they have not infiltrated my channel. Maybe one or two very early on, but I have not had any run-ins with these people. They've gone after you. They went after
Yeah.
Lauren. They went after, I
Yeah.
guess, others.
Yeah, they go
I've
after
not seen
women.
them.
They go after
What
women.
is that about? Yeah, what is that about?
This is what drives me crazy because they're supposed to be doing all of this in support of a woman who was mistreated by a man.
Yeah,
And at the same time, they're attacking women and now children.
right.
So, yes, someone had made the comment. I did have a second to check earlier in the day, and one of my lovely, lovely subscribers. I have the best subscribers. It's a beautiful community. But they
No, I
said,
have the
"Don't."
best subscribers. How about that?
Well, I think we share. I think we
All
share a
right.
lot of the same people.
No,
So
we do.
they are the bestest.
Yeah.
But one of them said to me, "They're not stands, they're bots." And I was like, you know what? I love it. I love it. And so that's what they're going to be from now because they don't have minds of their own. They don't have moral compasses, as far as I'm concerned, because there are things, if you have the slightest bit of moral integrity, you're not going to be okay with some of this stuff. And they're
Yeah.
okay with everything. So to me, there's no humanity. They're heartless, empty bots that don't think for themselves. Everything is like they're programmed to spend all day. I don't know what they do, what their lives consist of, because they obviously don't work. They obviously don't have anybody else to spend time with because they're just literally on the internet hating all day long.
Well, I can tell you what they remind me of. I don't know if you're familiar with the Brian Koberger case. You must because he covered
Mhm,
The Murdaugh case.
Yeah, yeah,
The next logical progression from that was the Brian Koberger case. And
yeah.
there's this group of people that were defending him for years and years and years. Like there's literally like a YouTuber that based her entire channel off of this idea that Koberger was a conspiracy. He was a plant. He's not guilty of somebody else. And we're going to find the real killer. She spent like 2 or 3 years.
Well,
She actually enrolled in that school in Idaho to, I guess, get closer to the action, to like be able to more closely investigate, even in the wake of his guilty plea, even in the wake of like the sentencing hearing. They're continuing to support
wow.
Koberger as if he was innocent. Now, these lively folks, they remind me a lot of another political group that supports people no matter what happens. But they just, it's almost like cult-like. Like
It
they
is.
have picked a cause and feminism is it. And Blake Lively is this ideologue for femininity that they've decided to support, whether right or wrong. Like this smoking gun thing that I think you were talking about, or Lauren was talking about earlier with Donna, where it's like this list of things. See, this is proof of a smear campaign. It's like that's literally like advertising material for a PR firm. It has nothing to
Exactly.
do with anything.
It
Um,
Everything this guy does to defend himself is they think it's a smear campaign.
Yeah.
Everything Brian Friedman does to defend his client, she said, is a smear campaign.
But it's based on her feelings,
Her
not
feelings.
actual evidence. She just
But you can't
feels that
sue
they're
for
being mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's insanity. But there's always the odd ones who side with that. And I think it might be to stand out. Well, it's part mental illness, let's be straight. But then also I
Yeah.
think to stand out because if they go with the flow, then they're just one of so many, there's too much competition. But if they can be like the spokesperson on the opposite side, then they get more attention. I mean, that's what I think. There's always people like that in any of these big cases. There's the ones that are
The
on their side.
contrarians.
Yeah, the contrarians. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
So I kind of, well, I forwarded this sort of script. That's how I do things because it's hard for me to stay on task. Once I start talking, it's easy for me to get off on tangents. So
Yeah.
I kind of went through, we had a lot of driving to do today. And so while I was in the car, I was doing a lot of writing and stuff like that. So I kind of have this scripty sort of thing. So I was kind of going to get through that and then get your professional opinion about it all. Just because
Certainly.
this because I've been dealing with cases and documents for years now. Reviewing them, I've seen so many different attorneys operate, so many different judges operate, and seen how it goes. And I have never seen this on any docket that of any case I've ever covered or just read on my own. So it's just really driving me crazy. So
Yeah.
but this new low, which was the inspiration for my thumbnail, because I'm like, how low can they go? Well, to the center of the earth where it's nice and fiery. But anyway,
Just to your point, because I did read this well, the thing that you had sent me.
mhm,
The most obvious point that you made, I think you referenced FRCP 5.2A3, which is when you're dealing with minors, they are to be, you can't use their full names for one. You
right,
got to
you
use
can
their
use
initials.
initials.
If there's unredacted stuff that needs to be taken care of right away. And I think that they went up on the docket on a Friday, and it took the full weekend
Mhm,
before on Monday morning they were finally sealed from the public. But
mhm.
I've also seen
And I
Judge
think that
Lyman.
was strategic.
Yeah,
This
I've
Friday
maybe it
double.
was
Mhm,
100%. Let's just do it on a Friday afternoon, and then it'll just be up there, and it'll freak them out.
mhm,
And yeah, sure, I'm sure it had that effect. But I've also seen Judge Lyman act within less than an hour when it came to Brian Friedman
mhm,
um, posting a declaration about potential wrongdoing because he had some contact or an offer of proof related to the Van Sham thing.
right.
In less than an hour, the thing was
Struck.
gone from the
Yep,
docket. And so
yep,
weird that this thing took 72 hours for them
yep.
to get rid of. But they could literally say, well, we're in compliance with FRCP 5.2. We've done nothing wrong. What could we do? They filed it at 4:48 on a Friday and nobody was there. But as soon as we had an opportunity, then, whatever. Still, I feel like um, I don't want to say that there's grounds for sanctions there because realistically, it'd be hard to do that. You'd have to prove that they purposely did that in bad faith. Can you prove that? You can make insinuations. You could even make insinuations based on the way that they've operated over the last 8 months in litigation in this case. But can you like nail them to sanctions based on this immoral conduct with this idea, this premise that they did it on purpose because they knew that it would be up for 72 hours and it was this coercive thing to try to get somebody to stand down that was speaking mean about their client? You can make those arguments. Are you going to win? Probably not.
Probably not.
But it,
That's
it
the
fits it fits this thing that they've had where they will go right up into the edge of
mhm,
evil unethicalness,
mhm,
but never fully cross over. Like they'll dabble, like they'll
mhm.
get one foot in, one foot out, but they're always within the framework of the rules somehow. And
Mhm.
so with that portion of when you're arguing that, you're 100%, yeah, minors are not supposed to be left on the docket like that, unprotected for extended periods of time.
And he doesn't say a word to them. He
No.
will chew Wayfair out like crazy. And then I still come back to when the whole Taylor Swift thing went down. It wasn't even Wayfair that brought it to the New York docket.
Yeah.
It was all taking place in DC where it should have been. It was Ezra that filed the panicked Blake stuff trying to stop it. She's the one who brought it to the wrong docket. Once it was there, then Wayfair responded. But it
Right.
drives me crazy how, just like with that letter that was filed after the hearing, there was no call for that. But once
Yeah.
he did, then Wayfair got to reply, and then Wayfair gets in trouble. So, like, she brought the Taylor Swift thing to the docket. He replied, defended himself. He got
Hmm.
chewed out for it.
No, I
And
agree with you.
and then
100%.
then they moved to strike, got it struck, and then what did Lyman do? Sua sponte, removed. Nobody asked him to. They didn't have to because he was there, struck the whole rest of it.
And it was instant. And
Many
so
of these content creator subpoenas are on his docket as we speak, and he won't do a thing about it.
I mentioned this on Leanne's show when I was something in the comments. I said something in the comments. It's like the Ezra attorneys, they have the most punchable face. They really do. And Judge Lyman is sitting there with like a steady right hand. All he has to do is just give him one good stiff right cross, and he's in prime position to do it, and he just won't freaking do it. And it's just like this itch that the general public has that will not be scratched because he refuses to give any backlash to their
At
side
all.
whatsoever for whatever reason. I feel like this could have been an instance where maybe Judge Lyman went out of his way to give them a stern public admonition, but
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing.
And I completely understand the public's fear at that prospect, but I also understand why Lyman's not doing really anything, because technically they didn't really do anything wrong outside of the rules of court, outside of the FRCP. And so what is he to do? Unless he himself believed that they purposefully did that, and he's never going to go out of his way to say that about anybody.
But
Although he did kind of do that against Freeman, and I know, and I get
yeah,
it.
'cause that's what I was gonna say, but it doesn't stop him against the Wayfarers, and
Yeah,
he will assume, and him and that word "assume," it just makes me so mad. He will assume the worst, or he will decide what their motive was, not based on facts, but just what he thinks it was, and he has no qualms to do that.
yeah,
It just ugh. Yeah, Jane says, "I feel like Lyman even lawyers for them." At that last hearing, he was. The one I no, not the last one, the one before, because I had the whole transcript for it and read it, and it was insane what
yeah.
he was doing. It was like he was fighting on their side. He was coming up with arguments himself against Wayfair. Like, no, that's not how it works.
No, I've talked to
That is
Rachel
crazy.
Juarez about that. That was one of
Yeah,
her. She doesn't even really follow this case as closely as most, but she read his 12B6 ruling,
yeah.
and
Oh, that
she was like,
novel.
"Why is he treating this like it's a motion for summary judgment? He's not supposed to be weighing the evidence right there."
Right.
And he was making arguments on their behalf that they didn't make, that were just out of place for a 12v6. And then, well, could he appeal? Should they appeal? Whatever. We had that whole discussion. I really get it's hard as an attorney to ever call out a judge as
Right.
100%
Right.
definitely biased. And I'm still not going to do
And
that
I
here.
understand that. I understand.
But it is eyebrow raising when all I need to know about how this has gone is that Kevin Fritz has resorted to purposefully citing Lyman's
Only
cases.
Lyman cases, and even that doesn't work. He
I
still
know.
rules against himself.
And so I don't understand when you have attorneys go out of the way to do that, because that's way harder than just simply doing the
Yeah,
legal
it
research and
is,
citing the
because
best
he hasn't been
cases.
a judge that long.
Yeah. It tells me that they think that they're being treated unfairly. They're not going to come out and say that ever.
Absolutely.
But I guess you should take solace in this idea that this is a jury trial.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched that movie, The Verdict from 1982, Paul Newman. Paul Newman's my dad, if you didn't know. He was, from a time gone by, 60s, 70s, 80s actor. It's this movie about this crooked judge and this down on his luck attorney that took on this civil case, and everything was working against his client, and they were really doing their best to try to swindle this plaintiff out of whatever. And the judge was doing his best to stack the case against this attorney. And at the end of the day, it was a jury trial. And the jurors had the opportunity to weigh the facts, and they're the ones that decided the case in spite of all of those things. And every time I've ever had a jury trial, it really doesn't matter what the judge thinks.
Yeah.
All they do is they call balls and strikes. They get to rule on motions. They get to make evidentiary decisions, but they don't get to pick winners or losers. They don't get to decide guilt or innocence unless it's a bench trial, and this is not going to be a bench trial.
Yeah.
So as much as Lyman might influence this from the outside, because he has control over the docket, he has control over these motions, at the end of the day,
control what evidence gets put before the jury as well.
He can, but the problem with that is, all right, so Baldoni is completely on defense. He doesn't have to present any evidence.
That's
so
true.
Now they're having to weigh in. All the evidence responsibility is on Lively. That means she has to, let's say you let it all in. Let in all the evidence. Just let in everything. What evidence are you going to point to that's going to prove a smear campaign, that's going to prove sexual harassment? Because I haven't seen any.
Mm-mm.
Matter of fact, if there was ever a case ripe for a motion for summary judgment, I would argue it's this one. This might be where this winds up, a motion for summary judgment. I don't know if Friedman wants to do that or drag her through a trial. But I have a feeling that this deposition went badly enough that they're going to point to the fact that she pled these allegations, these causes of action on the basis of her feelings, not on evidence. And after a full, complete battery of discovery, there's nary a single shred of evidence that proves a single solitary cause of action that she's put Justin Baldoni and the Wayfair parties through. And therefore, I think that in spite of the fact that Baldoni is completely on defense, there's a very real possibility that he's going to end up winning all the attorney fees because of the frivolousness of her allegations. You know, that's my rant.
I hope so. Yeah, if he doesn't grant her summary judgment.
Well, there's nothing to summary judge.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I mean, he better stretch real hard if he wants to do that. Yeah. So what this was about, so I had posted a couple of I posted for both civil and criminal from the federal rules. There's a reason that I included the criminal. So I didn't sleep last night. I was up till 5. I was working, doing stuff. I have trouble sleeping.
I remember those days.
My husband has he had this thing on his foot. I was sure it was skin cancer, but we got in today, and we found out today it is not. But
my wife thinks I got cancer too.
Yeah.
I do not. I'm just saying.
We worry. That's the thing. But yeah. So I mean, and that's where we were driving far today. We were there for hours. It was just like a really stressful day. Thank you so much, Pacer, not letting me buy the Perez motion to quash Nevada order. Seems jurisdiction granted, but he has to serve notice to Gottlieb, not Ezra. Response due 14 days. Yeah, I heard a little something about that. I want to get to that. Sorry, I'm not spending a lot of time on the chat right now because Omar's here for a limited time.
Yeah, I got literally like 11 minutes before my wife's gonna make me get off.
Okay. All right. So we got to hurry then. So let me get to the meat of this, because what I wanted your expertise for was about this specifically. So there's a reason though that I put the criminal law, but it was like I was saying, I had been up all night. It was 5 o'clock. I thought I'm going to lay down for just a little bit before the day starts. And I checked my messages and I saw that people were saying this. So I posted those real quick, and I thought common sense should be able to help people come to a conclusion when they see this. But no, not the Blake bots. Well, why did you put criminal law? Why are you trying to apply criminal law? Okay, so this was my goal today, was to get this out here. Okay, so this, because a lot of times criminal law stuff does kind of overlap and cover civil, but in this particular case, this is the district that this court is in. It is the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. So in addition to federal rules, there are also local rules, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at these, it clearly says at the top, civil and criminal case files.
Yes.
So let me look at my notes. So there are two different types. There is sensitive information. Sensitive information should never be included. As it says there, you should not include sensitive information.
Such
What
as
do they
social security numbers, TIN numbers, date of
Right.
birth, minors'
Yeah.
names, that kind
They're
of stuff.
all listed
Financial
here.
accounts. Right.
So in the 49.1, it is criminal. And then
Oh,
the 5.
I was all right. I was
5.2.
actually reading something else. No, you're right.
And then 5.2 is the civil. And so
Yes.
in the federal rules. So now in the federal rules, 49.1 does say home addresses, but 5.2, that's for civil, does not. So that's where they were trying to call me out and thinking I don't know what I'm talking about.
This is why they don't come after me. That's why maybe because that's
Well,
such a
maybe
stupid
they'll learn
argument.
eventually when I keep proving them wrong. So right here, this is civil.
Yeah.
These are the local rules. They include home addresses. If
Right.
home addresses must be used, use only the city and the state. So in the Southern District of New York, whether it's criminal or civil, they apply this rule, the same rule that's in criminal court. And when you think about the reason that it was historically in criminal and not civil, is because criminal cases tend to be more serious, more dangerous, dealing with murderers, people, mafia, people who assault, rapists. So you don't want addresses of people that are witnesses and things like that. So civil cases tend to be smaller. A lot of them, there are so many of them we'll never, ever in our lifetime hear about. We don't know the people involved. We don't know the companies involved. They can be trivial little matters. They don't tend to be dangerous like a criminal case does. That's the reason for the distinction. It's not like, oh, not allowed on civil. It has to do with whether or not it's dangerous. So if you have a civil case like this one that the whole world is watching, guess what? Chicken butt. No, it becomes dangerous too, just like the criminal. I mean, what have we had happen? We have had death threats to every single member of the Wayfair party. We have had arson. We have had threats of kidnapping this guy's daughter, his wife, a demand for money, his property, a fire set on his property. These are the reasons that these rules exist. It's to keep people safe. So that's why New York has taken it upon themselves to include addresses for their civil cases as well as their criminal cases. So I did not make a mistake by putting home addresses on there because it's the local rule, but I was too tired to go digging it up at the time. I thought if I put these up, people have brains, they can sort it out. My people did, but the bots came in. Why do you put criminal law? Drives me crazy. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't think, you know what? Maybe they have responded to some stuff. I think I just ignore comments like that because they're stupid.
Well, you know what? I've always done, and I've always gone through myself and tried to read and respond to all the or at least read all the comments and heart them.
Oh,
I've
that's
always
bad
been
for your mental health,
and
though.
well, but up till now, I've only had really sweet people. So
Well,
it
yeah.
was nice, but and now there's too many. I have a hard time keeping up. And yeah, and so when people knew I was going to be gone because I made the mistake of saying I'm going to Ireland, and so then a few came in. It's
Yeah, I've
just
done that before.
go away, people. So anyway, So in the instructions, now at the bottom of this last one, it said that it talks about how to redact and stuff.
Yeah.
So it gives the instructions of what to do, and it's very, very specific. This is an entire document that was put out by this local jurisdiction for the people in their jurisdiction exclusively about this situation.
So
So
this
then,
last the last couple sentences, because I got like less than 5 minutes, but the last couple of
yeah.
sentences um, is explicitly why I thought that Judge Lyman at the very least should have issued a strong admonition to Ezra and her team. Because it is the responsibility of counsel and the parties to be sure that all documents comply with the rules of this court, requiring redaction of personal identifiers. And you know what? You know who the courts typically protect more than anybody else? It's minor children.
Yes.
And so if their information gets out, if their pictures get out, that's a big deal. And you know what? Like if I were to file something in family court that, I mean,
Yeah,
I
this
deal
is
with
what I
children all the
wanted
time.
you to that's what I wanted you here for. So if you could take the rest of your time that you have. This is why I invited Omar, because I wanted specifically him because he deals in family law, so he knows what's done with children. So yeah, go ahead, and the last of your time, if you can hit those main points. Thank you so much.
Certainly. So,
And thank you, Omar's wife.
oh, she's all right.
Oh, okay.
She's just giving me a look. Children, they are fiercely protected by the courts. In family court, we have to deal with children, and so they're more lax in terms of like letting in information such as names, birthdays, because they're required. They're required because you're dealing with custody cases, you know, whatever, that kind of stuff. But in civil court, which I also practice, which is like half of my practice, we don't play this game where we're going to list names, identities, date of birth, public information, or non-public information for a minor child. You use their initials. Even in cases where the victim at the time of the incident was a minor, but they are now an adult, there's still the option where you can motion the court to keep them anonymous, like a Jane Doe type of situation, because it happened when they were a minor. You're dealing with sensitive topics, information, whatever. Even though the family court's more lax, when children come in to testify, they shut down the courtroom completely. Like oftentimes they'll let the children enter through like the judge's chambers. Sometimes they won't even have to testify in the courtroom. They'll just go and hang out with the judge and ask them like a pre-selected set of questions or whatnot. Sometimes they have to testify, and those cases really suck because you literally have a child and they're on the witness stand and the judge is there and the other attorneys are there and then you're questioning them like they're a regular witness. I've done that in criminal court as well, where I am questioning a child victim who was still a minor. It's a bizarre, just this weird, even because like in my case, I was cross-examining them. And so you're supposed to like expose like all of these inconsistent statements and make them out to show or demonstrate the weaknesses of their case. And you got to be so delicate with children. If you even give this the appearance of impropriety in how you deal with children, there are stiff consequences for the attorney. Like there's a chastising that happens between the judge and the attorneys. There might be motions for sanctions by the other attorneys. So when you have a situation where it was their duty to redact this information that was unequivocally sensitive in nature and should have been redacted, and it's the rule in this admonition, this pre-admonition that says it is the sole responsibility of counsel and the parties to make sure that everybody's complying with the local rules, and they don't do that. And Judge Lyman doesn't issue any kind of a post-incident admonition. It's kind of infuriating. It
is.
really is. And so I get your ire at this issue.
Someone just asked, is it Wayfair's responsibility to bring this to the judge's attention? But Perez isn't represented by Wayfair.
No, he's not. And I don't think they're going to do it on his behalf.
No, they're not. So this, like the judge, this is where a judge is supposed to step in, I think.
I think that Perez and maybe I'll tell him this later on during the week, but I really think that he should request sanctions on the basis of their failure to heed the rules of court there in the Second Circuit. And he should ask for whatever monetary damages he's incurred by consulting with attorneys, whatever the angst of having to realize that his children were very public. He's a very public person. And his children were very publicly on display in the docket in this very public case. There's a lot that he should be asking for. How specifically he should ask it is a different question, but he's
Right.
got to, if anyone's going to ask for it, he should be the one to ask,
Yeah.
either himself or through counsel.
Yeah. He probably needs to get counsel at this point.
Yeah. But Kassidy, I got to run.
Okay. Okay.
It is my cue, but thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on, and
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. I wanted I know you work with children, so I thought it would be perfect to use your expertise. So thanks so much.
We'll talk again later, like at a better time of day. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Maybe when you're back and situated, or I'm sure we'll talk again about this case. And for
Okay.
everyone else, I love you guys all. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Okay, guys. Sorry we had him just for such a short time tonight, but I think that's what I wanted him here for, because he does do family law. So he works with kids all the time. So he would be, he's just the exact expert to have to talk about this, because it's so outrageous. And then I saw on X, which is where I keep up to date on most things, in X and Instagram, people mentioning that Blake's, well, I'm trying to call them bots. I'm so used to saying stans, but Blake bots are even excusing and supporting that they put Perez's kids on the docket. And I'm like, you know what? At that point, I'm sorry, there's something really wrong with you if you're going to do that. There's something very, very wrong with you. You have zero moral integrity if you think that's okay. And if you put it in other words, let's say you post your kids on your Facebook. That's completely up to you. You have every right to do that. They're your children. What if I come along and I start posting your kids on my Instagram? Wouldn't you think that was weird? Wouldn't you contact me and say, why do you have my children on your Instagram? Get those off. You have no right to do that. Of course you would, because that's a crazy thing to do. So it does not matter what Perez chooses to post about his own children. That's his choice. That does not mean, and I saw that I didn't get to read the entire document, but I saw in a clip on either X or Instagram that she had talked about that in a court document that said, yes, it's creepy and abusive, K. Fitch. Absolutely. Absolutely is. But, yeah, so I'm trying to hide this. I'm so bad at these clicking these when they move. But can you imagine that's your defense for doing this? So I guess we could just go out and start posting people's kids on our stuff because, well, they posted it. So now we can post it. It's insanity. And I promise you that if people were posting Blake's kids or Blake's address or Blake's phone number, it would be like a volcano eruption coming out of New York. It absolutely would. And the funny thing is, these are the same people who, when Blake was asking for that specific attorney's eyes only designation, when the court has its fail-safes and stuff, they wanted something special. And where were these people at that point? All supporting it. Oh, they need this extra protection. But when it comes to anybody else, even women and now even children, and did you hear the ages of his kids? The oldest one, isn't the oldest one 10? or maybe there was 12, 12, 10, and 7, something like that. It's so gross. It's such a gross thing to do. And you can't excuse that. There's nothing in this world to excuse that. If you can't even put a child's name, if you have to put their initials, what makes you think that you can excuse putting their actual photos? And she tried to minimize it. Oh, well, it was only this, it was only that one, it was only this one. No, lady. And you know better. You know better. Yes, Jane, they would never post it. Lyman would stop it. He certainly would. If something came up of Blake's, he would stop it for sure. I believe them putting his kids on the docket was an indirect threat to Perez from Ryan. Ryan is disgusting. I agree. That's Vilo who said that. Yeah. Yes, Christina. She doesn't want her kids photographed. I've seen her yelling at paparazzi for taking pictures of her when she's out with her kids. So, which she has every right to do. And you know what? Here's the difference between us and them. We would never post this stuff about her or her children. And I don't wish harm on her. I don't want something bad to happen. I wish she would be a better person, and I want her to lose this case because I don't feel this case is founded in truth. Do I want something terribly hurtfully bad to happen to her? I do not. Do I want something bad to happen to her kids or her kids to get targeted? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would I defend somebody doing something to her or her children? Absolutely not. But when you're talking about the other side, it's not like that. They want us to be doxxed. They want us to be, so they can find out where we work. Didn't that happen to Lauren a long time ago? They contacted her work or something. They want to find out where we are, or if we're an attorney, where we practice. People were hunting down my manager, my LLC, searching all kinds of creepy stuff. They want that stuff. And I cannot understand. I can honestly say, in all the years that I have been on social media, I've had run-ins with unwell people, plenty. I have never felt like I needed to find someone in real life. It's not the way I think. And why would I? Like, what if I found them, then what? What am I going to do with that? When someone's being unwell on social media, I recognize that there's nothing I can do to change that they need help beyond what I could give them. And so I stay away. I'll have, if somebody says something and I'm not quite sure like where they're coming from, I'll have a bit of a conversation with them to see what it is. But if they say something rude that I see, if they say something rude to one of my subscribers, they're gone. There's an option, I don't know if you all know it, on YouTube. It's called hide user from your channel. And when I click that, because you can't really block, like you can never stop someone from having access to your channel, but you can use this option. They don't even know that it happened to them. They're still on there. If they type on there, they're allowed to type on there, but their comments will never, ever show up again. I don't even see them. I don't know if they're still commenting or not. I don't care. But if somebody's rude to me, I'll give them a moment. Sometimes try to have conversation. And if it's just going to go round and round, that's what they get. But if they come on here and they're racist or they're cruel to a sub, they automatically get it. So even if they say something about me, it's not automatic to me. But if it keeps going and if they start attacking other people, they're gone. Because I just, that's how I deal with it. But because I realize there are some people, it doesn't matter what you say, how much you go round and round with them. There's nothing you can do to change or fix their unwellness, should I say. Okay, Glow Loves Books, thank you so much. It was done the same by Amber Heard stands during the Johnny Depp trial. They attacked a lot of us, and it was vicious during the Johnny Depp trial. I bet it was. There's a lot of unwellness, but yeah. So as I mentioned, there were two categories. The first category is sensitive information. That one's an absolute no-no. You're not supposed to put those on there. And that in the Southern District of New York includes addresses. So then there is the second category that's the exercise caution category. You can redact these without permission from the court, but you're not required to. You kind of, I feel like you should, but you don't need the court's permission. Now, once it gets beyond some of these things, you can ask for more, but you need the court's permission beyond that. So, but like I said, the ones that are absolute in the Southern District of New York do in fact include addresses. So just to show how this works in better judges' courts, we've seen a lot of this. Every judge has individual rules of practice. We've gone through those quite a few times throughout this trial, but this is the rules. So there's the federal rules, then there's the local rules, and then there's each individual judge's rules, and they're all like laws. So these include things like how they want their motions filed, their letters, how long they should be double-spaced, what the titles of each kind should be. There's all kinds of like little specific rules in those things, and they become a law for anyone in that court. So, but they're individualized. Sorry, my squeaky. Every time I bump my microphone, it squeaks. So every judge has their own set. They're not all the same. So I found a few that I guess I should say maybe better judges, more conscientious judges. And let's see what they've done. So here we have Catherine Polk Failla, I think it would be pronounced. So under her section, and notice it says civil and miscellaneous. So the argument, I don't know if you guys saw, I had posted on my community tab earlier, really early this morning, the federal rules about not putting people's addresses. And some smarty pants came on and said, why are you putting a criminal rule and pretending it's a civil? Well, because I didn't have time to put it all out there, but I thought you would be able to, that you might be smart enough to figure it out. So this is the actual New York Southern District rules, because those apply just as well as the federal rules. And these do include those things. Wow, Nicola, thank you so much. Catching the playback now, but oh my, two of the hottest and most fascinating voices to ever bless my ears, Kassidy and Omar. Thank you so much. So, so this is this particular judge's rules. This is how seriously it gets taken. She put it in her own individual practices and clearly marked it as civil. So it says parties should not include in their public filings, and she lists the things and she adds it, and home addresses use only the city and state. So there you have it in an actual judges. So this is in the federal rules, it's in the local rules, and it's in this judge's rules. This is how seriously other judges take this situation. Here we have another one, and these are all in the Southern District. These are his contemporaries. We see at the top, it also says civil cases. This is exclusively civil cases. Aaron Subramanian and what does this judge put for under redactions and sealed, refers to these rules and says parties should not include in their public filings amongst the list home addresses. Use only the city and the state. Another one, Jennifer Roshan. I'm not sure how to pronounce, so sorry about that. Civil cases clearly says on the top, she says, reminded not to include unless necessary. It's certainly not necessary for third parties in this case. Nobody needs to know where any of these people live. And it lists all the things like dates of birth and home addresses. Use the city and state only. So I'm sorry to be repetitive and keep showing these. Oh, thank you, Nicola. What is gifted membership? I didn't know you could do that. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very, very nice of you. I'm still learning all of these things here on YouTube, because I haven't been going live for very long, and I prefer to do the recordings ahead of time because I just prefer the sound of them. I can barely listen back to my lives because I feel like they're a mess. But it takes me so much longer to do the recorded versions than it does to do a live. So I would end up being so far behind. So if I do some lives like this, it helps me keep up a little bit better. Because this one, I wouldn't have been able to get this out today. And I felt like this was important. So you guys, I'm sure you saw the smart Alex in the comments talking about, oh, but that's a civil law. Now you know what to say. It is a civil law on a federal level. There are reasons that it's in criminal, that those reasons can apply to civil. But beyond that, it is the local rules, which are laws in the Southern District of New York. So if you catch somebody saying that, you can school them now that it is a rule in the Southern District of New York. You are not allowed to put people's addresses in civil dockets. Absolutely cannot. And better judges than Lyman make sure it's in their individual practices on top of the Southern District, because they want to make sure everyone is fully aware. Because we do have cases like this situation where we have so many attorneys from other states that are here practicing in New York. So it could be that they're not familiar with it. So it's a really good idea for these attorneys to have it in their individual practices so that the out-of-state attorneys can see that. I didn't get a chance to dive in to see how many states have these in addition to the federal, but I think it doesn't matter. I'm not going to waste any more time on that. I think I've proven the point here that no matter how hard these Blake bots try to excuse these situations, it's not okay. It's not okay. You can twist the federal rules and try to say, well, it's okay what they did. But here's my thing. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you if you see women being doxxed, that you're going to go out there and not just excuse it, but find ways to support it and to fight with people who say, hey, this isn't right? What the heck is wrong with you? Don't you guys feel like that? Like, I look at them and I'm like, do you not have the slightest little bit of morality inside of you? Are you not mothers? Do you... And you know what the conclusion I came up with today? It's actually in my notes, but I didn't really follow them because I was in a rush to get the most out of Omar that we could. But I came to the conclusion that these people don't love anybody. I think there's no one in their life that they actually love. Because if you love someone, you understand what that you don't want to see someone hurt. You don't want someone to hurt someone that you love. So it becomes who you are when you look at the world. You don't like to see other people hurt because you understand that feeling of protection, that feeling of, I don't know, it's just in me. So I don't understand when it's not in somebody. I can't, and I know you guys all feel the same way. I can't even put it in words because it's all feelings. But, oh, Lena, no. We love you. We love you. And your animals love you. Don't say that. You're gonna make me cry. We love you. But now she got me all choked up. But I think if you don't love someone, you just don't have it in you to have those natural feelings that should be there, that make you not want to see somebody hurt or suffer, even a bad person. But yeah, they only care about themselves. Yes, because if you're able to look at and not think about Jennifer Abel, the way her phone was taken and what that must have felt like, to not look at Justin and Jamie, who are married men who loved their wives. They're not shy about showing it. These men love their wives proudly, happily. I mean, we've seen them on social media. They are crazy about these women. And to have this woman accuse them, really it's a cheating that she's accusing them of, that they were trying to peek at her and trying to touch her and trying to kiss her, and even like getting their friends up close to her to pretend to be her OB. How gross is that, by the way? It's such a stupid thing to say. Get over yourself, Blake. You are not all that. Stand Blake up next to all three of these men's women, and she is nothing compared to them. Look at the personalities. Now, the actor, I've never seen his wife in action. I've just seen her pictures, and the woman is drop dead gorgeous. But we have seen Emily Baldoni, and we have seen Natasha Heath. These women are amazing. They are funny. They are lively. They are adorable. They love their families. They are not egotistical. They are humble, funny, sweet women. If that's what these men are attracted to, that's what these men are attracted to. Why would men who chose that type of woman to spend the rest of their lives with, to be their companion, to be the mother of their children, that's what they're attracted to. Why would Blake turn their heads? It's not even about like outward beauty. It's about who. Blake is abrasive. She's obnoxious. She's loud. She's pushy. She's everything that those women are not. Those women are amazing. If you haven't followed them or seen them on social media, look it up. They're beautiful inside and out. They have qualities that Blake doesn't have. And it's crazy to me. It's so insulting to these men and to those three women that the world is being told that their men lost themselves and couldn't help themselves around Blake. And it's insulting. It's my words are gone. I can't even come up with the words that I'm trying to say. But it's a terrible accusation. It's so hurtful and so harmful. And K. Fitch says, appearance is the least interesting thing about a person. Exactly. So Yeah, Snake thinks she's God's gift to men, so full of herself, megalomaniac. And ego is not appealing. You can be the most gorgeous man on earth, but if you walk by feeling yourself more than I could ever admire you or look up to you, you are not the slightest bit appealing to me. Ever. Never going to be. I don't care if you're handsome. I don't care if your body is perfection. If you're an egomaniac, I am not attracted in the least little bit. For people, I'm not making any sense. I'm kind of rambling tonight. I'm operating on very, very little sleep. But the point is, the people that are defending, not even just in the beginning. In the beginning, a lot of us thought Blake was telling the truth, and we felt bad for her. But as each revelation came out, that we saw, oh, this might not be what she said. Oh, this isn't what she said. Oh my goodness, she's horrible. When you are still, after everything that has come out, excusing it all, there's something wrong. Because I think those of us who are supporting Wayfair, I can still look at things and think, oh, they probably should have done that a little differently. Oh, he might not, even like Brian Friedman. How many of us say, and you know I adore Brian Friedman, I wish he hadn't said the Madison Square Garden comment. I do. But I realize that we're not perfect. And sometimes, especially in the heat of a moment, and we're angry and we're frustrated, and we feel like we're not being fairly treated, or in his case, his client's not being fairly treated, you say something stupid. And you can't take it back. But if he's not running around continuously saying that kind of stuff, let it go, people. On the other hand, we have these attorneys who can't stop doing underhanded, questionable things. These dirty attorneys, the stuff they do, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, we're capable of seeing things and saying, oh, I wish they hadn't done that. But not these people. No matter how low Blake goes, it's okay. No matter what sick stuff Ryan says or does, it's okay. It's not just okay. You're bad for saying it's not okay. No matter what underhanded thing these attorneys do, it doesn't matter. It's okay. And you're bad for saying it's not. I don't understand thinking that way. It's so gross. But this one has really bothered me so much. This doxing, and then this thing about the kids. It's never okay to bring kids into it. And the fact that people can find it in them to defend it, it's beyond my ability to comprehend. They're kids, and they're little kids. It's not like they're teenagers even, which would be bad enough. This is an awful lawsuit where adults are doing awful things to fellow adults, and you want to say it's okay to bring kids into this? It's not okay. We've already had crimes committed against people in this lawsuit. So my main point after all of this is, in the laws, in the rules for how this court is supposed to play out in the Southern District of New York and in many of the judges' individual practices, this doxing is not allowed. It is wrong. It shouldn't be happening. And Judge Lyman should be speaking up about it. That's the point. And that's what I wanted to show you today, that it's here. They've made a whole document for it right there. This document exists specifically for this one matter and this one matter only. And it's very clear that it's not just criminal, it's civil cases as well. You cannot put home addresses in there. And this is the important point too. This is a minimum. This isn't the only thing that ever needs to be kept off. This is the bare minimum. This is where you start, and other things can be removed and redacted as well if need be. The last point I want to say is third parties and non-parties have even more protection because they didn't voluntarily come to this lawsuit. They didn't bring this lawsuit. They didn't do something that made them be sued for. They're third parties, they're non-parties. They have even more understanding by the court. They're able to get so much more redacted. Like me, I was able to be a doe because I'm a non-party that got drug into this against my will when I hadn't done anything wrong. So keep this in mind when you see these idiots running around saying it was perfectly fine that addresses were put on the docket and that it was perfectly fine that kids were put on the docket. You heard Omar, and you see this direct, not my words, direct from the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. There's the answer. And I'm sorry it took till so late in the day for me to get back. I was just, like I said, we had to drive really far for this doctor, and it just took hours and hours, and I'm exhausted. But when it makes me mad when people get on there and question and make it like I don't know what I'm talking about and that I put something stupid out there. I've made mistakes, that's true, but I try my best that what I put out there is in fact the truth. And if it's not, I will come back and clean up after myself and tell you I made a mistake. I've had to do that before. It's humiliating. I don't like it. But guess what? I don't like less. I don't like putting something out there that's not true, that's wrong. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Lena. Thank you, Sarah. I'm glad he's fine too. That's a scary thought. Wait, what was this about veneers? I clicked on the wrong one. Were you guys talking about teeth? Thank you. Yeah, digital IDs. That's the thing. Phone numbers and email addresses. You can get so much stuff off of that. It's crazy. What is going Oh, I'm obviously missing some funny stuff in the chat. But yeah. So there's the actual truth. I'm gonna post this screenshot here up on my community tab as well for the people that struggle with facts and who want to say that doxing's okay, because it's not. Thanks again, Don't F with Justice, for the super chat, and also for Glow Loves Books. Nicola for the super chat, the very generous super chat, and the very generous gifting of memberships. Now we got to find out what that is. And I want to do a game night for members. I'm sorry, I've been so bad about not doing member stuff other than just like early release things. But I have been thinking about doing a game night, like, I don't know, trivia or game night or something like that. So if you guys have any ideas of what if that sounds fun, or what kind of games you would like to do, I would love some recommendations for that, all of the members, and hopefully get to that very, very soon. Some sort of something we can enjoy together. So sorry I'm so scattered tonight and not putting sentences together in a reasonable way. I am running on very, very little sleep. Now I'm all calm after the stress, but you know what it does to the body. I've been reading a lot about like the vagus nerve and how previous trauma and stress, like what it does to that nerve in your body. It runs from your brainstem all the way down to your intestines. So that's why, like, if you get scared or if you get upset, you feel it in your stomach. Like you feel it in your actual body because of that nerve. And so I've been researching a lot about it, and I want to get when let's see, payday's in 8 days. I want to order one for my mom too. There's these little machines. When I get it, I'll post about it after I try it. I'll let you guys know. I think it's called Pulsetta. There's a lot of different ones, but this one like goes around your neck. It's the highest rated, but it goes around your neck and it stimulates. I don't know how, if it's vibration or what it does exactly, but it stimulates the vagus nerve. And supposedly, if you're having like a panic attack, or if you're stressed, or if your mind's playing like your greatest mistakes of all time or your greatest traumas of all time on a loop, or people like me who just cannot go to sleep sometimes, it's supposed to, within just a matter of minutes, just calm all that down and help rewire. Because if you've had trauma, especially severe trauma, or from a very young age, it actually affects the mapping of your brain. So I've been doing all this research. And it you can unmap that to keep your brain from going back there and taking you back to whatever traumas those were. So Pulsetto is, oh, we got a doctor in the chat. Oh, I missed it. It's a great device. That's the one I want to order, because is that the best one? I've seen there's quite a few, but from what I've seen, that one was rated the highest, and that's the one I want to buy. So I'm just like counting the days to payday, because I found a deal where you can buy one and get one half off, and I want one for my mom too. So but yeah, let me know. Hi doctor. Let me know if that's the best one. Shell says that nerve is connected to the second brain in the stomach. Yes, in the stomach. Highly recommend researching it. It was once considered our gut feelings. That's what I've been reading so much about. And it does so much damage to the body because it's connected to all of your organs all the way through, from your brainstem all the way down to your literal guts. And so that's why therapy is so bad on your physical health. Yes, sounds like EMDR. That's where I found it. I was researching EMDR and I found out that they use this in that, from what I understand. But I don't want to give, I have no medical background whatsoever. I don't want to, don't take anything I say as medical advice. But these are just things I've been researching. EMDR therapy is amazing for trauma too. Yeah, that's what I started researching. And then I ended up body scan. That, yes, I've tried that for sleep, but I'm not very good at it. I was even thinking, because Gigi, no wonder I have to poop when I'm anxious. That does explain it. That's literally why it happens. And it can have the opposite effect as well. But the butterflies in your stomach, all of those feelings that you get with extreme emotions, whether they're happy or sad or scary or stress, you feel it in your guts because of that. Shell says they've done. Talk to me. Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to get some help with this, because as you get older and your hormones start changing and stuff, then everything goes haywire and gets even worse. But yeah, for my mom, I want to do this too. So Don't F with Justice says, I did EMDR, but they didn't do anything for vagus nerve. I did that with myofascial release therapy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about it. I'm just, yes, REM is crucial. I know. And I have my, I stopped wearing it because I was tracking my sleep with my smartwatch, and it was stressing me out even worse because I saw how little REM I was getting. And then I just read that it can cause you to be more susceptible to dementia, and I don't want that to happen. So before I get to a situation like that, I wanted to do something. And yeah, and for my mom too. So this, yeah, I saw this as well. It's also good for neurodivergent people. So I needed to look into that as well. Because when you go to a lot of therapists, they just want to put you on the pills that just make you not care about anything anymore. And there's so many side effects, and it's not a way to go through life for me. Highly recommend magnesium. Is it glycinate? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's awesome. I have vagus nerve techniques. I've been watching some on YouTube, but I wanted the machine for it. I avoided massage for years, but finally went because gift certificates. Found amazing therapist, total goddess. I literally breathe better after a visit. Yeah, I think they're learning so much with brain scanning. Like when they're watching what the brain's doing in certain things. I love what they're learning. So they're able to treat people so much better, and so many people are living with untold traumas. And yeah, there's got to be a better way than pharmaceutical, I think. Yeah, there's no way any of them are walking away from this unscathed. Even sociopaths face repercussions. They've got to be regretting. They've got to be regretting at this point. I can't imagine that this is going the way they thought it was going to go. And it seems that what bothered Blake the most of anything was people talking bad about her. And now look what's happened. What was happening then was so minor and would have had passed really by December. But look at they are irreparably harmed now. There's no coming back from this now. They may have still some people who are uninformed and so still support them. But as a whole, and more of this keeps coming out and coming out, I think there's no way to come back. Yeah. Beth says Zach shared a picture of Ryan Reynolds yesterday, and man, he looks terrible. I said that like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I saw a picture of him. His hair was all crazy, his eyes were all crazy, and he looks like he's aged 10 years since this started. I said he's aging like milk left in the trunk in August, because it's like all of a sudden he still looks pretty youthful for his age until this happened, and now he I don't know, his eyes got small and really super close together. His forehead got huge. I don't know what happened. I've never seen anybody physically change that much in so little time. Yeah, Blake looks different. Annie says they've both aged since this started. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. But I mean, there's no way that they're living peacefully right now. She lost her most important friendship to her because it was the most esteemed one, Taylor Swift. Yeah, there's no way. Oh, I saw this Peapod. Egos. What about Ryan being a part of the new Avengers movie and Blake being part of the Devil Wears Prada too? Do you think he really is in the Avengers movie, or do you think he's doing that thing where he just dresses up? And because when he first didn't he dress up and release a video and like leaked it to get people talking about it in order to get his role as Deadpool in the first place? I was like, is he doing that again? Is that what he's doing? He's like trying to get people hyped up and have them asking for it. So yeah, that's what I said, Super Sarah. Scarjo's in Avengers. She won't let him near her. But my husband said her character was killed off. So I don't know. I don't remember. I like the Avengers. I just don't remember stuff. Yeah, he would. Observer only says if Ryan is in Avengers, I finally have a reason not to let my husband drag me to the next one. He dragged me to the Avengers movies. I actually like them. We've seen them in the theaters. Um, but I don't like Batman movies. And there's some I don't like Deadpool. Even before, it's just vile to me. But so she's not in the cast of The Devil Wears Prada? Good, because I love that movie. I have and I found out too, now I'm just running my mouth here in the middle of the night. You guys are staying with me. That's so nice of you. Um I found out why. I never knew it, but ever since I was a teenager, I would put the same movies in over and over again to fall asleep to. And I still do that. Something familiar. If I'm stressed out and I'm doing something, I will put in a movie that I've watched a million times, watch it over and over again. But they said that it's oh, I'm gonna mess it up. I don't want to say it wrong. I'm like all into learning all this stuff, but trying to keep it in my tired brain is not always working. But it said that it's because watching something new has that little bit of stress that comes with not knowing what's going to happen next. But if it's a movie that you've seen so many times and you know exactly what's coming, that it's a comfort. And so it like calms your anxiety. And so now I know why I've always done that. I've put movies in, but for the longest time, The Devil Wears Prada was one of mine. I think I love the way Meryl Streep, even though she's like a bad lady in there, I love that actress so much. Um, her voice, like I said, even though she's the bad lady, I still like her in it. I still think it's funny. So you guys do the same thing. We have Goonies, we have Some Like It Hot, um, Princess Bride, and Goonies, Devil Wears Prada, The Holiday, and the Lake House. I love that movie. I love Sandra Bullock. Did I miss some of you guys? So you guys all do that too? And now you know why you do it. Because it's relaxing. It's your brain. Princess Bride is so funny. I haven't seen that in ages. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec. Oh my goodness, I love Parks and Rec, especially once Rob Lowe comes. Once that's usually where I start it when I go back and just to like watch it mindlessly in the background. I go back to the first episode of Rob Lowe when he joined. So that's a neurodivergent trait. I think I'm neurodivergent, but undiagnosed, I do that too. It is a neurodivergent trait. I am diagnosed. So it is. I think a lot of us are. And there's a very strong sense of justice. I don't know why that's a neurodivergent trait, but it's overwhelming. We cannot stand to see injustice. The Philadelphia Story. I love old movies. That's Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, isn't it? I love. I went through a series where I watched so many old movies. And now they're really hard to find. But My Fair Lady. Yes, I love that. I love that. Audrey Hepburn is one of the most beautiful women that ever lived. Eurogen says, thank you very much, Eurogen. Did you know Perez got his motion quashed in Nevada? No, I heard, I wasn't able to look at anything today, but I do. before I go to sleep. Look, it's almost 2 o'clock and I'm still awake. But let's see. I can't watch The Wizard of Oz anymore because Wicked made me laugh. Yeah, it changed everything, didn't it? Sorry, I'm sipping my cider. So in Ireland, there's this cider. It's hard cider. It's alcoholic. It's called Orchard Thieves. And I tried it the first time I was there, like right off the tap, ice cold, and it is the best thing. It's like crack to me. But when I came home, I found out they don't sell it anywhere in the United States. And the cider here to me is bitter. And so the last 2 times we've gone, my darling husband packed up in his bag 12 packs of it. So I got 24 bottles of it to bring home. So that's what I'm sipping now. It is the most delightful thing in this world. I had another one when I was there because the place we ate dinner didn't have Orchard Thieves, but it had, I think it was called Rockstone. And that was really good too, but I might be messing up the name. Irish cider is so delicious. It's different, especially off the tap. Yes, Peapod, it's different. I watch anything with Rob Lowe. Exactly. That man will not age. But his character is so funny on Parks and Rec. Look at all of us insomniacs just staying here together. I'm the worst case with insomnia, but one of my childhood friends recently suggested green chilies. Really? Eating 2 with meals. I like finely chopped for dinner. I thought I'll give it a try. It worked. Oh, I'll have to try it. There is something in hot peppers that's really good for it. It starts with a C. It's a long word. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe that's what does it. Jane Jones says, I drank Orchard Thieves the entire time I was in Ireland. I miss it so much. Yes. I felt like I was going to cry sometimes. I just wanted it so bad. And now I have it. I'm so happy. But whoa, 7:48 a.m. here. I hope you slept through the night. I hope you haven't been up all night. Capsicum, that's it. Capsicum, that's what's in the peppers. And the curcumin, what's that in? Is that in pepper? Is that what's in the black pepper that you have to add with your turmeric to make it work? I'm trying to learn all these alternative things, but I get things mixed up. Nobody boos in Ireland, says Annie. Not that I saw, but I didn't ask. I love Johnny Depp movies too. What's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio? They were so young. But Leonardo plays a mentally handicapped person, and he does it so beautifully. It's so convincing. Oh, it's part of the turmeric. I thought it was in the black pepper that you have to add it. All this science. I'm probably getting everything. Capsaic. Okay, where is it? Curcumin is the active ingredient of turmeric. So see, don't take anything, any kind of medical anything from me. I'll get it wrong. Don't say Kassidy said this because it's probably wrong. I have to check. I'm the kind of person, my brain is like, it always has 6 things happening at one time. So if I'm trying to, I usually don't cook with recipes because it's so hard for me to keep it together, like back and forth, to keep changing from looking at the food and dealing with the food and then back to something on paper. It just doesn't, my brain doesn't do well going back and forth between the two. But when you're baking, you have to. So it's a nightmare trying to keep that stuff straight for me. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? That's it. The acting in that is just sublime. Sorry, my chair is so squeaky. Turmeric with black pepper in milk is supposed to help against cancer. Yeah, it is. It's really good for your liver too. They make a liquid one. It actually tastes good. I thought it would be gross, but they were giving out samples in Costco, and I tried it. I ended up getting it. I probably should. Yeah, I haven't done it for a while. I should probably go get a new bottle because it's supposed to be really super good for your liver. But I didn't know it helped with Did you say it helped with sleep or help your heart? Or no, helps with cancer. It's right in front of my face, and I'm looking through the chat for it. Pharmacist Kassidy. Oh, no, no. Never, 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 never. No, I scare myself. When I had my surgery, I had to write everything down because I was supposed to take, well, I have medicine that I take twice a day for lupus that I always have to remember. And then I was supposed to take a blood thinner because I couldn't move much with my knee. And so I had to take that every day. And then I had to alternate the pills, and then they gave me, oh my goodness, I don't know what was wrong with my doctor. He gave me oxycodone and tramadol, and there was like 40 pills of each. And I took the oxy for the first 2 days because it makes me nauseous. And I don't like the way it makes my head feel. So just the first 2 days when it was so bad. And then I tried a tramadol, but it made me feel like I was having a heart attack. So I still have all of these. I'm like, why did he give me so many? I feel like I would have gotten addicted if I took that many pills. So, but so I had those, and then I was supposed to be alternating these Tylenol and ibuprofen because I wasn't taking the oxy after 2 days. And so I had to write it. I had to keep a chart and like put my time. Yeah, oxy and tramadol. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, I thought I only took one. And I felt like I was having a heart attack. I honestly did. But oh wow, been on oxy for pain since 1996. I think my grandparents were for years and years because they had terrible rheumatoid arthritis. My grandpa did, and my grandma had osteoarthritis, but it was really bad. And so they were on it for years. But yeah, Danny says I had oxy after surgery and wound up in the ER. It made me so sick. Yeah. I don't like the way I feel at all. So just those first couple of days, because I'll tell you what, I can't imagine what it must be like to get your knee replaced. Because because I have lupus, I had I years and years of inflammation. And they did a synovectomy. I had a bunch of this extra synovial tissue that it gets to a point where medicine won't shrink it, ice won't shrink it. It's just like in there feeling like I felt like I had a plate above my kneecap all the time. So they had to cut a bunch of that out. They did some drilling. Well, I tore my meniscus and some cartilage. And so they do this drilling into the femur to make the cartilage grow back. And I don't know which part of it was the worst because it was all done at one time. But it was extraordinarily painful. And I can handle a lot of pain. I mean, I walked on it after the tearing it. I walked on it for months because I had a trip planned last October with some family members, we had a European tour. We started in Belgium and we went all the way down ultimately to Tuscany. And so there was like, it had been planned for a long time, and I did not want to have surgery before I went. So I just put a knee brace on and just went with it. But that surgery, it brought tears to my eyes after, I mean, for weeks. And then it's the full recovery, like to be okay to play like sports and stuff, is like 9 months. I was so shocked when I found that out. I hadn't done any research about what the recovery was, but it was like 8 weeks of not putting weight on it. And then slowly I went through, I started physical therapy after, I think it was after 8 or 10 weeks. And I'm done with that now. But even now, like when we were on tours in Ireland, it got to where I would hit a certain point and be like, man, this hurts again. And I thought I was past all that. But yeah, it's I can't imagine getting your knee replaced. Now I'm terrified. I'm like, that hopefully this keeps my knee okay for the rest of my life, because I don't ever want to let them in there again. That was extraordinarily painful. But yeah, it's getting late. I can't believe so many of you are still here with me. I'm gonna have to make this one private and then go through and edit it and not put it out there, because if I put this up there, I'm going to get a million messages. Why is it so long? Why are you saying all this nonsense? It's crazy to me. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine going on YouTube and watching a video and getting upset about something and writing a message to that creator to tell them how they should run their channel. But people do that. They really do that. They'll get on there and tell me the most ridiculous things. Just the last couple days, somebody said, what do they say? Kassidy used to make good videos when she recorded them, but now she gets on live and she doesn't have the gift of gab. And they're just so long. And I just laughed. I just laughed because I'm just imagining myself going to somebody's channel and saying that to them. I would never do that. And someone else goes, oh, now you're just, or might have been the same person. It's like, now you're just going live to get money to go on your international vacations. It's like, what? Are you crazy? I mean, people who've been around and know, like, I know that a lot of people are new since I started covering this case, so you don't know my life. And after this case started to get crazy, after people on Reddit started trying to find me in real life, I'd even changed the name of my accounts and took some stuff off of like my X and my Instagram that explained why I travel a lot. I've always traveled a lot. And they didn't know that I did, because after my surgery I couldn't. So I didn't travel for months now. But I always did before. And I'm like, I go look at my Instagram. If you look at my Instagram where I've saved stories across, it's a lot of the places that I've gone. And the border on my X account is made up of pictures of a lot of places that I've been. It needs updated, really. Those are all pretty old, but sorry, I need a drink real quick. Hold on. But and here's the thing too. There's something called Social Blade. And you can go on there and you can check it. You can check people's like Instagram. I check it now and then to see how many people are unfollowing Blake and Ryan. But you can also go on YouTube and you can see what people make. And I'm not going to try to hide it because you have no say. It's out there whether you want it or not. But you're more than welcome to go and look on my channel on Social Blade and see that I'm not rolling in any money, and what I make in a month is not even enough to buy the ticket to go. Sorry, my chair is so squeaky. To buy the ticket to go travel. And it's just crazy. And last month when all that happened, when I got subpoenaed, so many people were so generous, especially on that first one. And I really, really appreciated it. But so that will be the most I've ever made. But I haven't even gotten that money yet. That comes on the 21st. And you know what the first thing I did was? I paid for a year's worth of StreamYard. So that little duck is gone from the top of my screen when I go live. And so that, like, tonight when Omar joined, he could stream to his channel too. Because when you have the free version, you can't do that kind of stuff. It's very, very limited. So I really wanted the pay version, but it's expensive. And I've always, the first thing I did when I got monetized, I bought a microphone, but it turned out it wasn't that great. So later I upgraded. Thank you, Justin. Just Ricardo. I don't know why I called you Justin. Just Ricardo. Hello, lovelies. I'm so late. Hi, Cass and Omar. I got a printer because I have trouble reading things on the screen. I like it on paper. Well, if you don't have a good printer, you're going to spend a fortune on cartridges. So I got the EcoTank. It's a bigger investment initially, but then you buy the bottles of ink, and it's great. Then after I started making so many videos, they take a lot of space. They also take a lot of juice when you're making them, if you're making ones like I do. So my husband custom built my computer. So everything I started making, I put it into my channel just to make it better. Then after that, I started getting better software. And so I put it back so that I can improve the quality for you guys. I have never been greedy about this stuff, or just I would feel I was embarrassed because I was going to Ireland, and I was like, I want you guys to know this trip was already planned, and it's not from the money you gave me, because like I said, I haven't even gotten that yet. But anyway, yeah, that's what somebody said. They said I'm just going live so that I can get money to take international trips. So it's crazy what people will say and think it's okay to do that. So, but yeah, so I think I'm going to take this one. I'm not going to post this one directly on there. I'm going to go through and because I want to keep Omar on there, because I really appreciate that he gave us his time and his expertise. And but when people see that it's hours long, then they leave their little nasty comments. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this in members only, and then I'm going to tomorrow I'll come through and edit it and then put the smaller version out there. So anyway, well, we should probably go to bed. So everybody pick your favorite movie, do your Vegas massage, your Vegas nerve massage, and drink your turmeric, and have a really, really good night's sleep. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight. Take care, everyone. Oh, can you wait for an hour or two just for lates to rewind, please? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll leave it up. But then before the sun comes up, I'm going to have to tuck it away so I don't wake up to nasty messages. and wild, unfounded accusations. Thank you, mods. I always forget to thank you guys. I'm not used to having mods, but thank you, mods, so very much for helping keep things under control. Anyway, sweet dreams, everyone.